Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Think. It's the channel where we teach you how to come to the conclusions that we come to and not what to think. Now, you might be wondering why I'm holding this cute, adorable, fluffy dog. Well, I'm going to use her as an illustration today. Now, I am holding a dog. I am holding a cat. I'm holding an iguana. I'm holding a horse. Now, okay, Mishka, you can go. All that to say, did I say basically the same thing in holding that dog? When I said it was a horse, when I said it was an iguana? Well, I mean, all of them have four legs, right? So must be the same thing. Or does the truth matter in what was said, and which statement was accurate when I was holding the dog? All right. So this will be part 2 of the old Bibles say basically the same thing, and we're going to be taking a look at Zechariah 13:6. I want to make a clear point here. The point I am trying to make is addressing the claim that all Bibles say basically the same thing. I am going to show that no, not all Bibles basically say the same thing, using this as an illustration. And I just want to make that clear because the last video, I am King James only. I'm a King James advocate. But that's not the point I'm really trying to prove here. I'm trying to refute the claim that all Bibles say basically the same thing. Unfortunately, this should be a very short video. I should be able to show you the first slide that's comparing the verses side by side in different versions. And you should be able to see just based on that, that they don't all say the same thing. And then you should go, okay, I read it. I see they don't say the same thing. And you were right, Kurt. That's a good way of how to think. Nonetheless, I can't do that. I have to show at least a presentation. Not sure how long the video will be, but here we go. So all Bibles say basically the same thing. Look at Zechariah 13:6. The King James Version we have, "And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thy hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends." Now the New King James Version. "And one will say to him, What are these wounds between your arms? Then he will answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends." The ESV, English Standard Version, reads, "And if one asks him, What are these wounds on your back? He will say, The wounds I received in the house of my friends." Now, clearly, we have hands. We have between your arms. Everything is pretty much between your arms. And then we have your back, right? So, hands, between arms, and back. 3 different things. Oh, look at that. They say different things. Nonetheless, we're going to go further. So a few other versions. What do they say in Zechariah 13:6? So the New International Version, NIV. "If someone asks, What are these wounds on your body? They will answer, The wounds I was given at the house of my friends." Christian Standard Bible, CSB. "If someone asks him, What are these wounds on your chest? Then he will answer, I received the wounds in the house of my friends." The Message Bible, and this one is my favorite. It's pretty funny. "And if someone says, And so where did you get that black eye? They'll say, I ran into a door at a friend's house." What? All right. So now let's look at it. There are different parts of the body. And think this is pretty much common sense. think everybody knows this. And, you know, I'm really not trying to be facetious, but I'm just really trying to drive the point home. So let's take a look at each of the parts of the body that were mentioned in these 6 different versions. So, hands. So of note, the Hebrew word here, which is H3027 in Strong's Concordance, was translated to hand or hands, 1,359 times in the Old Testament. All of a sudden, we will pick a different word to translate it to. Obviously, it's hands. It was never translated as arms, back, body, chest, or eye anywhere else that this Hebrew word appears in the Old Testament. Now, arms. So, other than your arms themselves, what isn't located between one's arms? This is very vague, and regardless of this obscurity, one thing is for sure: hands are different than between the arms. Therefore, all Bibles do not say the same thing. I'm going to keep on with this point. Back. The Hebrew word for back is H6203 in Strong's Concordance. This word is not in Zechariah 13:6 anywhere. Where did they get this from? Just made it up. In any case, there is something we know for sure. Somebody's back is not their hands, and is more specific than between the arms. Hence, they do not all say the same thing. Body. The Hebrew word for body is H990. Sometimes it is H5315. Neither appear in the Hebrew in this verse. But something we do know for sure: body is more vague than even between the arms, and could be a wound anywhere. It for sure does not say the same thing as the other versions. Chest. The word chest isn't used to describe that part of the body, but breast, breastplate, etc. is. This is in the Hebrew. Again, none of these Hebrew words appear in Zechariah 13:6. Even more, we know that the chest is pretty much the opposite of the back. So if I say, "Hey doctor, could you look at the wound on my back?" He's going to look at a different place and patch me up than if I said, "Hey doctor, could you take a look at my chest? Patch that up." It's the opposite. So what can we conclude? Yet again, they do not say the same thing. Harping on this. I put this one in just because it's funny. He got a black eye from running into a door. I do not know how they translated it that way, where they got that from. Just wow. But obviously a black eye is different from a wound to hands, arms, back, body, or chest, and so it doesn't say the same thing. But also pretty funny, like I said, is this person ran into a door to get a black eye. What? Where does it say that in the Hebrew? It just does not say that. So, as you can see, think I have irrefutably proven that all Bible versions do not say the same thing. There's really no way to refute this unless you're saying hands and back and chest and body and arms and eye are all the same thing. They're not. Additionally, you can see that there's a change in the conditional nature of the verse, because some of them say, "One shall say, how did you get these wounds on whatever body part?" Other ones say, "if one asks him." So one shall, that's saying it will definitely happen. If one asks him, that's saying could happen or it might not happen, but if someone does, then this will be the response. So it's unconditional language. Something will happen in some of the versions. And conditional language: if this happens, then that will be his response. So even there, they don't all say the same things, and this is just in one verse. So to conclude, do they say the same thing? Reiterating, we are examining the claim that all Bible versions say basically the same thing. That is the claim that I am challenging here. And I think we have demonstrated very clearly that they do not. Unless you are going to sit there and tell me that hands between the arms, the body, the back, and the chest are all the same thing. If you are, then the cute dog I was holding, it's Mishka. It's our service dog. She's awesome. We might get to see a little more of her time and again. But if you are, then me saying that she was a cat, she was a rabbit, an iguana, a horse, I'm saying basically the same thing because all of those animals have 4 legs, right? It's ridiculous. Again, I think I've absolutely proved that they don't say the same thing, and that's the point I was setting out to make. So we could go into, is it pointing to Jesus, the wounds in the hands from the nail? Yeah, and you're kind of taking away those correlative passages and who it's really pointing to. But I'm not even going to get into that. I'm seriously refuting the claim that they say the same thing. I hope I've demonstrated that. I did not mean to be belittling anything like that. I'm just really strongly trying to make this clear point. And I think I've done that. Thank you all for watching. I hope it was helpful for you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, ask me any questions you want to, and I'll see you the next time. God bless you. Bye.